been one of our most effective leaders in our ministry. She's great. She's big time, even though she's from the outskirts of Dallas. We don't like Dallas people. She says all the Dallas folks are going crazy. And so during this time, we're going to bring up Nikki, Gaynor, and she is going to start with her 2-minute miracle. You're on the clock.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I'm petering it up. Brought my Kindle. I'm going to use it. I don't know who does that. So cool. Small group process. So what this is about is not how to lead a meeting, but it's about what the process is and what small groups are meant to do, what they're meant to accomplish. So first you need to know your role and your purpose for even being there. And first of all, it's to lead people. Secondly, it's to lead a meeting. So first of all, you got to lead people. Thanks, Tess. Second, you got to lead meeting. Good job. So let's get into it. First of all, I wanted everybody in here who has been impacted by a small group to raise your hand. Cool. So it works. So that's it. We're done. No, I'm just kidding. His last words are first priority, and I would just be honored if Kyle could read Matthew 28:18-20 for me.
And Jesus came to them and said to them, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you always to the end of the age." Okay,
let me get this straight. So is Jesus saying, like, let's go out there and just convert and just yell at people's faces and just make them all feel bad?
Yes.
No, he's not saying that. Who said yes? No, y'all aren't raising your hand now. He said we need to make disciples that are baptized and obey. And obeying is not just, avoiding sin. It's not just not, drinking or doing drugs or not having sex. Obeying is just glorifying God in His kingdom, and putting Him first and avoiding sin comes along with that. So the goal of this process, more Jesus, more disciples. There's a cheat sheet in the back so y'all can help me out. We just don't have weekly small group meetings to fill a schedule. I know a lot of people in here are busy. Rachel's in like 50,000 organizations. I know she's not doing it for that. It's something bigger than a meeting. It's, you're dealing with real people who have real problems, who are dealing with real struggles. So just remember that. So listen to this quote from Steve Merle. "If we ever find a better way to make disciples, we will abandon the small group structure immediately. This is because we are a disciple-based church, not a cell-based church." So we're interested in small groups because they're a form in which we can develop leaders. So speaking of form, we have an awesome metaphor that I love. I want to be an English teacher, so I love these things. So everybody just think of a lamp, any kind of pretty lamp. I always think of the leg lamp in A Christmas Story. I like that one. So we got our lamp in our mind, cool. So a lamp needs power and a form to work. We all know that. So think of a lamp that's plugged in but doesn't have a light bulb. It's not really doing much, is it? It may look cool, it may look great, but it's not serving a purpose or anything. So it would be considered useless. So next answer is power without form is non-transferable. The electricity can't transfer into light that illuminates the house, which is what it's meant to do. So in a small group, this looks like really passionate people who I love passionate people. They're awesome. So people that are eager for revival but have no plan. So they have no plan for training new leaders to come in and take their place. They don't have any kind of way in transferring their passion to others. They're just super passionate and they don't know what to do. It's just stuck in their little lamp and they can't get it out. So this is another metaphor for what this looks like is a downed power line. It's a lot of power, but they're extremely deadly and can cause a lot of damage. So That's a good one too. And then form without power is dead religion. So when you have your really cool lamp, and you didn't plug it into the wall, then it's still not doing any purpose, even if you have a cool bulb in it now. So it's super sad when small groups and entire denominations possess all the programs and training books, but they don't have power in them. So church history tells of those who have mistakenly selected either power or form. And obviously, we need both. So let's talk about forms and growth. Godly forms should cause multiplication. And can I have Deborah, I love you, you're so cute, read the next quote from Making Disciples, please.
Making disciples happen when we disciple others. Multiplying disciples happens when those we disciple begin to make disciples. The call is not just to make disciples, but to multiply disciples.
Cool. So, I think in American evangelicalism, that's a hard word, I think a lot of people have definitely missed the mark on this principle, and the church is suffering because of that. And I think a lot of us can see that, and a lot of even non-believers can see that as well. So what is your part in the multiplication process? Each one reach one. Woo! Good job, guys. So it's not a crazy goal. I know y'all think one is a huge number, but it's not that big. If you do your small part, you're going to affect a big part on the whole. So, everyone's heard this. Would you rather be a small part of something huge or a huge part of something small? Gets me every time. So here's the steps towards your small part. We even tell you what to do and everything. It's really cool. So this should be a regular process in your life, the same old boring strokes. And here they go. And like I said, I want to be a teacher, so I'm going to make y'all do hand signals with me. So first of all, before we do the hand signals, what we're doing is engage, establish, equip, empower. Can y'all say that with me? Engage, establish, equip, empower. Okay, and these are the hand signals. Cool. So we're going to engage, establish, equip, empower. All right, one more time to make sure we got it. All right, one more time. Engage, establish, equip, empower. So that's what we're doing. And y'all are going to remember that forever now that you have hand signals. Thanks, Robert. All right. Okay, so first we need to engage the crowd. And this is anyone who needs more Jesus. So we engage people. Some are lost, which is not saved. They don't believe in any of this, and some are lost. People that are disconnected from the kingdom who've known Jesus before but have strayed away and need to return to him. And so we need wisdom to know the difference and passion to engage both of those types of people. I know for me, I always wanted to go straight for like the atheist club and be like, look, this is what you need to do, and da-da-da. And I didn't pay enough attention to people who already knew God and needed to come back. And so always keep in mind that both of those types of people need love, and we all need more Jesus anyway. So that's cool. Advanced discipleship. I can't say that very well, so have to excuse me. So this is scheduling a regular meeting with your co-leaders. Just talking about, their lives and what they're going through, their struggles, praying for them, letting them pray for you. And then, when you do that, going out into the quad with them and sharing the gospel, sharing your testimony with people on campus. And the whole goal of this process is to go out there, talk to those people, and then they'll come to your meeting, and then, you'll be meeting up with them next month. And then, you'll be going out with them and doing the same thing. And that's the whole point. The other one is praying for your friends and inviting them to your small group. Sometimes this can be the hardest part. I know for me, it's a struggle to, be like, hey, Susie, I know we never talked about this, but you should probably come to my Bible study, even though, we never talked about it. So inviting them, it's gonna better their lives, and it's gonna better your friendship. So, cool. So you want to engage the campus, engage your friend, engage. Don't worry, we're gonna ask you to make a prayer list of your friends today. So, be ready. Next one is establish the congregation. What we need to do is establish foundations. And the big question is, are people under my leadership reading the Bible and spending time with Jesus? Are you living a life that does these things, that shows your co-leaders and people who are, looking up to you? Like Austin said, sometimes you're going to be the only Bible people see. Are you living a life that, they actually see Jesus in? So that's a really big question. So remembering that, your job is to lead people. So it doesn't matter if you have 50 people coming to your small group. I'm going to say that one more time. It doesn't matter how many people you have coming to your small group. You want to expand. We all do. We want to have 1 million people at our group, but it's not about numbers as much as it is about where the heart is of the people you're leading.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
That's what the focus is. And I'm super competitive, so, that was hard for me to understand. I was like, okay, we gotta, they got 5, I gotta have 50 next week. But that's not what it's about, and God has revealed that to me, and there has been more fruit in small groups when we understand that we are there to make disciples and we are not there to fill seats. It should never be about that. So, so this should be your foremost concern. And next one is helping them go through the one-to-one book. And I was going to bring a little copy of it, but I'm human and I forgot. So you can find it. It says one-to-one book on it. It's purple and white, and it's really cute. So that's the First Steps book that we're introducing. And what that book is, just establishing foundations and going through things that I think we as followers need to know and we need to understand in order to fully be able to, establish other people in the same thing we want them to know. So it's an awesome book. Next thing is baptizing them in water and the Spirit. And biggest thing is don't wait for it to be scheduled. They probably won't bring it up, so you probably should. Cool. Taking them to encounter night and having them experience freedom and breakthrough. And if you don't know what encounter night is a night where we seek the Holy Spirit and just believe for God to show up, and people have totally been healed at these things. People have totally been released of sins or struggles that they've been going through. So that's what that is. It's awesome. If you haven't gone, you should totally go. Cool. So establishing them in fellowship is the next thing. Bring them to church, campus fashion, family nights. These things are super fun, so why wouldn't you want to go? They're awesome. It's so fun, you guys. Go. It's awesome. This is going to make them feel welcome, and it's going to, have them broaden their friend spectrum. Not just going to your small group every week and being like, well, this is it. There's got to be other people out there. Take them to other places. It's fun. And again, help someone go through the one-to-one book. This is a big deal because it's here again, so do it. And yeah, you could do this in a coffee shop. You can meet on campus. But it is important because, like I said, it does establish the foundations. Next one is bring them to church. Maybe our church service isn't the easiest first step to get somebody connected to others, but it is important after they understand why church is such a big deal and why they need to go to be around other believers. So bring them to church. Our church is cool. Peter's funny most of the time, so I like it. Next one is equip the committed. And this is discipleship. Yes. So didn't we already say that? Yeah, we did. But we're going to say it again because Nikki can't say it that good. It's also this time is your main time to disciple others, to reach out to others. This time is a big deal. I love meeting with my co-leaders every week because, I leave more encouraged than, I'm sure I encourage them, but it will make a difference in your week. So totally do it because it rocks. Cool. So after your meeting, you need to send weekly reports They're either group me text or however your minister tells you what to do, but you need to, keep count of how many people are coming and, have a goal for growth, because that is important. I'll take up your phone. I'm just kidding. Keep your focus on what we like to call monthers. And let me explain what monthers are if you don't know. Monthers are people that you can tell have their whole heart into your small group, and they have their whole heart into being committed to learning more about God and growing more in His kingdom. And I think it's called monthers. I've heard a lot of different definitions, but monthers is somebody you can see leading in a month. Yeah. Right? Cool? All right, cool. That's what it is. So also keep a number of how many monthers you can see, how many potential people you can see. Start getting your co-leaders to meet up with them, because they're eventually going to be leaders, and that's going to be really cool. And then basic training. Keep the book, because it really does help, and I hope you're writing in your answers, but, listening and stuff. And lastly, you need to empower the core. So your goal is to work yourself out of a job. God loved the world enough to send Jesus. Jesus loved the world enough to leave it and send you. So you are to empower others. And as a warning, this is risky and messy. And you are not perfect, and you're going to mess up. But God is always going to be there. And there's forgiveness. And I can't tell you how many times I've messed up and been like, oh, man, okay, well, that wasn't good. But it always works out. So don't be too hard on yourself. Lastly, groups that grow must eventually split. So if a group gets up to 10 people, it gets more difficult to interact. People may be a little bit more scared to open up if, there's a lot more people around. So we like to split it up, and, when your group gets to 30, you can just split up 6 times, and it'll be a lot of groups, but it'll be awesome. So you have to choose between a new person interacting or spending time with your friends, and that's a hard choice, because I love to have all the girls around me and, joke around and stuff, but, you're there to really get down to the nitty-gritty and, change some lives. So, we're going to engage, establish. Cool. 2-minute testimony. Okay. Yeah. Whew, let me stretch. Come on, Lisa, let's go. All right, right. Okay. All right. Grew up in Dallas, Texas. Okay, let's see. Had a pretty good childhood. Nothing to really complain about. My family didn't go to church. My dad was extremely mad at the Catholic Church for his own reasons, and my mom didn't like groups, so she didn't like going, and so we never went. Teenage years, I started realizing that my dad had a big alcohol issue, and as a result of that, we lost a lot of relationship that we had when I was little, and so I didn't feel like he loved me enough, so I went out and tried to find love from other men who really didn't love me, and met a guy when I was 15 years old who I thought I was going to marry. I gave him everything. Eventually, 6 months into it, he was verbally abusive, and I had obtained anorexia, stuff like that, just bad stuff. It became physically abusive, and the first time I ever prayed in my life, I asked God for a way out. And one day, he got caught at school with weed and was sent out, and that was my perfect opportunity, and we were done. So came to college wanting to party it up. I had my experience drinking and doing drugs and living the life, I thought. And so I came to college and moved in with Tessa, who I didn't know was going to let God use her to change my life. And started going out in the party scene. And, she stayed in every night, probably praying for me because I needed it. And eventually I saw that she had something that I wanted because she was happy. And even though I had 10,000 guys' numbers in my phone, and even though I had all these things I thought I wanted, I wasn't happy. And for the first time ever, I went to church, and I felt so much love that I never felt before. 10 seconds? And so then I found Jesus, and my family is going to church now, and my dad is being healed, and it's awesome.
The stories never get old. Great job.